Whew, it is that time again. We get to roll out of bed and start with a Rev Mobility. If you're joining me on the premiere, welcome. I hope you're looking forward to this. These are a great way to start the day. You can literally, whether you're rolling out of bed, whether you're hitting play at a time that suits you, you can really wake the body up, wake the mind up, and I promise you, if you do this, you'll have a much better day because of it. Plus, you just get to look after yourself a little bit more. So the first thing that I want you to do is, actually, make sure you are drinking plenty of water. One of the things I like to challenge myself is before I get to start work in the morning, I try and get myself through a full bottle. And then I try and get through another one by the end of the day, and then by the midday, and then another one by the end of it. That hydration is key, really keeps you awake. Anyway, first thing I want you to do is squat. And I want you to squat as low as you can. Now, the reason for this is effectively this is a test. So if you've just woken up, just drop into that squat. Now, it doesn't matter if you can't get all the way down. Get as low as you can, get those knees nice and wide, drop in, and then you can stand up whenever you want to. We're using this as a test. We want to see what our squat feels like now and what it feels like at the end of the session. So shake them out, get ready to go again, feel what that squat feels like, sit back into those hips, sit right back, chin in. We don't want to be reaching forward, don't want to be leaning forward if possible. Keep the shoulders back, nice big strong knees, don't want them dropping in, strong knees, shoulders back here, and then stand back up. Just memorize how that currently feels. Where am I feeling tight? Where was that quite uncomfortable? That was actually quite uncomfortable for me around here. I'm sitting down a lot at the moment, so that's probably why. Anyway, that's our test. We're going to do that again later on. Take a big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just as you continue to do that, just want you to start rolling the shoulders around, but don't worry about doing it in any particular fashion. Just really start trying to get them to flow through the motions. Really try and get them back. You can go one way, then the other. You can get the whole torso involved. So take off the restrictions, just roll the shoulders one way, then the other. Again, you can get the torso involved if you want to. So hydration is huge with looking after the body and keeping yourself mobile, both mentally and physically. Just keep rolling those shoulders. Big breath in. Keep that going. That's it. Now from there, just start with just one shoulder. Just start, and then you can get the other one involved. That's it. Really focus on keeping the chest in place as you start to roll the shoulders. We're really looking at that shoulder movement. We don't want to be moving with the whole torso. It's just the shoulder. And then the other way. Now the technical amount that you should be aiming for water-wise is 15 millilitres per pound of body weight. Technically. But I prefer to keep it simple. Challenge yourself to drink one of those just as you wake up before you start work, another one at midday, and then another one before the end of the day. Should be about right, depending on how much exercise you're doing. How's that feel? Same again. Now, from there, all I want you to do is, I just want you to drop yourself forward. This is where you're going to really pick up what I'm saying. You're just going to drop forward. Just let the spine really start to hang. Just drop it all the way down, including the head. Some of you who are quite tight around that back part of the neck will find that your chin just drops forward and this back part of your head here actually crinkles. And you might find that you hang a bit like this with your chin close to the floor as opposed to the crown of your head. So really focus, getting the crown of the head as close to the floor as possible. Now, if your hands are touching the floor, you can just cradle the elbows and just sway a little bit. Just really let that spine, those hamstrings, backs of the legs, really let everything, let the crown of the head, the elbows just really drop down. Keep focusing on that breathing. Now you can keep that going. And something I want you to do whenever you do these mobility sessions is take off the boundaries and the limitations. So at any point you can stand up, shake yourself around, join back in when you get a moment, when you feel ready to. So whenever you're ready, again, you can stand back up and you can just think about folding yourself back down again. Really fold down. Remember, it's the crown of the head. We're trying to get the crown of the head towards the floor. That's it, guys. So keep that going. Remember, you can stand up at any point, shake yourself out, and then go again. Focusing on the breathing, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Reason you go in through the nose, technical reason, is it helps encourage the amount of NO, nitrous oxide, that you produce, making it easier for blood flow throughout the body. And remember, when we're hanging over, it's the crown of the head that we want to be trying to get as close to the ground as possible, not the chin or the forehead. Don't allow that tight part of the back, those of you with that desk posture, don't allow that to stop what you're doing. Right, now you can stand yourself back up whenever you're ready. All right, this time, rather than folding the spine in half, we're going to hinge over from the hips. Hinge over from the hips. Really try and lift the hamstrings with that bum bone. So you're going to try and lift the hamstrings with the bum. There, as low as you can. Then when you can't get any lower, that's when you're going to hang again. Now you're going to drop into a nice narrow squat here. And try and get as low as you can. Then rock forward onto your knees. If you're looking a bit like Kermit the Frog at the moment, it's fine. Laugh about it and just keep giving it a go. And then you want to try and drop your feet down and lean back as far as you can. And then back up. Get the feet underneath. Sit back into that squat. Push those knees out. Bum up. Here. And then try and lift there. Squeeze up. Squeeze the bum as tight as you can. There, and we go again. Hinge. There, go as low as you can, keeping the back as flat. I can't go any lower than that at the moment. And then I hang forward. And drop down. Here, up. Onto the knees. Feet flat on the floor. Try and sit back. Back up. Sit there. Bum up in the air, straighten those legs. Then press the feet into the ground. Now just remember, it's okay if you're not very good at any of this. The point is you're practicing, you're pushing joints. You can keep going, don't stop just because I stopped. Keep pushing your joints, the tissues into those areas. Take your time. If you need to stand up at any point, just drop yourself around, then you do that. You take things at your pace. So I'm going to do this for a few minutes. Really try and see how far you can get over without that lower back just tweaking round. And then drop down into that deep squat, narrow deep squat, onto the knees, feet on the floor, sit back, up, here, go. Up. And again. So you just take your time going through them. That wasn't a very good one from me. Up. I like to flow through mine a little bit more, a bit more of a steady pace. So you can slow yours down. I prefer to speed mine up a bit. Up, squeeze, down. Through. The great thing about these starts to the day, I got really short the shoulder out. The great thing about these starts to the day, just stick on some music. Stick me on in the background. You can even stick on things like your Coach on the Couch videos, your Rev Movement. You can already feel just how everything's starting to loosen up. Squeeze that bum as tight as you can. And again, last time for me. About another 30 seconds, guys. Dropping it down into that narrow squat. Onto the knees. Feet underneath. Lean back. Up. Sit back. Up. And up. That's it, guys. So you can still do another one if you want to. If not, you can just grab a drink. Really nothing expected in these sessions. I mean, there isn't in any rev session that you do. We're going to go into a crab tabletop. Really good for hip flexors, shoulders, chest, wrists and forearms. Really good one. One of the key ones, if you're someone that struggles with desk posture, you want to go onto the crab and stretch. So how we go into that? Sit ourselves down, bum on the floor. Wrists pointing forward, fingers pointing behind you. Now it's important that in this position here, we pull those shoulders back and lift up that chest. That's important, and we want to try and do that as much as we can throughout. Then we're going to try and push our bum up, here, there, right? That's our crab. Our tabletop is squeezing that bum up there. So as you can see, my hips, from my knees to my shoulders, I was trying to be as flat as possible. If that's too much, you can just stick into the crab there. You can go as high up as you like. Now it's really important that as you go as high up as you can, you lift that chest up, push your hands down into the back of that, into that mat, into the floor, push your hands down, squeeze the shoulders back, lift the chest up, squeeze the bum so the hips come as high as they can. You'll start to feel that in all sorts of areas. If you're cruising and nailing this, really well done. Now you can hold this for minutes at a time if you really wanted to put yourself through something uncomfortable. If you're practicing it now whilst I'm talking, perfect, that's exactly what you should be doing. And what I'm going to say is we're going to do this for about another 2-3 minutes. So I'm happy for you to fluctuate as much as you want within that 2 to 3 minutes, but keep testing those shoulders, those hips, those forearms, pushing hard down into the ground. So we look a little bit something like this. Fingers behind, chest up, push down into the ground, there, up. Just trying to squeeze my shoulders back. Squeeze the bum, push down into the ground, hold, and then I'll come down. And I'll come back up, squeeze, hold. My right shoulder is definitely tighter. Squeeze that bum. There you go. Down. So you keep going with that. And again, remember, with these sessions, you can stop, walk around whenever you need to, shake things out, go again. It's completely fine. And you'll find if you're quite a tight person, so I've been sitting down a lot over the last few months. I'm really starting to feel it across my my traps around my neck. I'm starting to feel it in my lower back. So I've noticed that my technique has sort of wavered a little bit. So I just sort of shuffle in and out of this. But definitely, this is something I need to be doing more of. Crab stretch, crab to tabletop, really cracking stretch for those of you that find that you're sitting down. So just again, fingers pointing behind, lift up that chest, really lift that chest the whole time. Push your palms into the ground, there. That's it, now put up, hold it there, push your feet into the ground too, and see how close to tabletop you can get. Squeeze. That's it. Hold, back down. You can sink into it a little bit further if you want to, then back up, squeeze. Push your hands down into the ground, feet down into the ground, down, sink in, up, squeeze, back down. Good. Right, and just stop that there for me. Ooh, now, going from there, as we're in that position, we're working on those hands. I just want you to put your hands down onto the ground, fingers pointing forward, just lean over those wrists. Now, if you've got really weak wrists, firstly, make sure that your elbows are tucked in. That will help. Secondly, you can bring your foot out in front just to take a lot of that strain. But just see what sort of angle you can get leaning over your wrist. sway around. That's it. Now from there, we're going to go to the other way. So we're going to drop our hands on back of the hands onto the floor. Same again, wrists on the floor. Trying to tuck the elbows in. You'll really feel that on the top. You can take this real steady, like really don't rush. Just rocking back and forward. And then from there, fingers behind. Now those of you that are into Olympic lifting or barbell work, this is one that you should be doing pretty regularly, to be fair. In fact, this whole routine is one that you should be doing regularly, particularly if you're into your lifting. Now drop back, tucking in the elbows. Important that we remember when we're using our wrists, we really want to tuck in the elbows. An internally rotated, tucked in elbow makes for a happy wrist. If you have your elbow flaring out, keep going. If you have your elbow flaring out, and you know what I mean, if some of you do push-ups, if you do push-ups and you're like this, some of you might find that your wrists get quite sore. So if you make sure that your elbows are tucked in, externally rotated, external rotation, externally rotated elbow makes for a happy wrist and a happy shoulder. So something to bear in mind. So keep going on that. So again, get some angles on there. Always feel free to freestyle. That's it, there we go. And just give your wrists big circles. Big circles. One way, and then the other way. That's it. Just going to do that one more time. So here, hands forward, lean right over. Those of you that have done my animal movement sessions, really good for wrists, shoulders, hips. So if you're looking to strengthen your wrists and your shoulders, your hips, your ankles, all your joints, definitely check out the animal movement sessions. They're inside of the Time to Slow Down. That's it, just really see what sort of angle you can get over those hands. Give them a little wiggle, never be afraid to freestyle. Keep going. That's it. Then from there, the awkward one. Dropping down. Okay. Fingers facing you. Just rock back and forward. Really feel that stretch on the top of the forearms. And don't forget, guys, if you haven't done already, make sure you fill out all the sections in your stats. When you head over to the Your Stats section, there's a drop down menu. So you first fill out all your body weight measurements, all your body measurements, arms, thighs, hips, that sort of thing. Then you ask a couple of reflective questions. You state what it is that you're trying to achieve. Now on to the next one. Fingers behind, pointing towards you, sorry, and sitting back. So you've put in all your body stats, what you're trying to achieve, a couple of reflective questions. You can upload your current progress photo as well. Then there's a little drop down menu. You tap on that and you go to preferences. Make sure that's all filled in. The preferences help us work out what your BMR is. If you're interested in calorie counting, what your calorie intake should be roughly. And then that also links in with your meal tracker. So if you then head over to meal tracker, you can record your meals and up and just give your wrist that big full circles. Your meal tracker then links with your stats, and it will then tell you how many calories for the day you have left. Now, we're not a big fan of calorie counting because once you focus on an anti-inflammatory, health-based way of eating, you'll find it's harder and harder to worry. You have to worry about calories less and less. But what it is really good for is helping you understand just how much you're eating. One of the bigger examples and more obvious ones is things like nuts. Everybody starts recording their nuts and they're like, oh Christ, I didn't realise I was eating so many calories. And things like that can be the difference between you maybe progressing in the way that you want to. In either direction. Don't forget, people want to gain weight, lose weight and maintain. It's all different. Right, now into the push-up position for me. Remember, we tuck in those elbows here, drive that knee through and drop down. Now we're trying to push that hip out to the side. You can bring this foot round if you want to. I prefer to keep mine just a little bit tucked in. You can also start to reach out. You can turn around. So freestyle based on what works for you, and also maybe the type of mood that you're in this morning. You might find that actually you're just in the mood where you want to listen to what's going on in the background, and maybe there's something important that you want to be doing whilst you're doing this. Don't know. Maybe this is a bit of you time and you want nothing to listen to but your background music and the sound of my voice. So give it that little bit of a shake up. Really see how it's feeling. Explore around. Just make a note of what knee you're using or what side of the body you're stretching. So mine's my left side, because we're going to stick for the left side for the next bit as well. And don't forget, at the start of this, we tested our squat. How did that feel at the start? How did that squat feel? If you've had quite an active day, you should have been quite loose. But maybe if you're doing this first thing in the morning, you might find that you're quite tight. Just explore around. That's it. Now, one of the things you can do, if you ever find that you're short of time, is you can contract the muscle that you're stretching to encourage a better stretch. So whenever you stretch a muscle, the muscle for a certain period of time will go, I need to protect myself, let's tighten up. But if you get the muscle to contract whilst it's in a stretched position, it tricks the muscle to thinking, oh, actually, I can't be in that much danger if I'm able to contract. So in this case, if you push your shin down into the ground, just enough to get a contraction, and then relax into it a bit further. You want to hold the contraction for roughly about 10 seconds, give or take, and drive. And then when you drive it, feel that contraction, roughly about 10 seconds, and then relax down into it. And when you relax down into it, relax for about 20 to 30 seconds or longer, minimum 20, and then get another contraction in there. One more time for me. Drive that in. That's it, I can feel that contraction. Now from there, I'm going to drop that leg forward. I'm going to drive that leg forward. So my knees out nice and strong here, my big toes on the ground. I've got a nice bridge in my foot, my elbows, what are they? Tucked in. Externally rotated elbows, happy wrists, happy shoulders. We're there. Now we're just going to explore this. This is kind of like a semi-active stretch or mobility movement. And then from there, we're going to drop back, leaving that foot where it is. You can come up onto the heel if you want to. We're then going to sit back. You can take that a step further if you wanted to really pull back, pull that knee back. Again, feel free to explore. You can turn this into a bit more of a dynamic stretch if you want to. Where you come forward and backwards. Really see how far you can get back. Come forward. Please remember, and tell all your friends that this is about laughing, failing and learning. So if you're flying through this and you're thinking this is a breeze, maybe check out one of those, maybe try out one of Emily's yoga sessions. just back and forth. Keep exploring it, see how it feels. Keep playing around with it. Don't forget, if you're in this at any point, you can stand up, move around, and don't forget that the community app that you're a part of, there's a public section, so you can send it to your friends and family. If you feel that if you know anybody that would like that little bit of extra support, like to feel a part of something, you don't have to pay anything to be part of the online community, the online public community. Right guys, we're going to swap it round, so into that push-up position, elbows tucked in, drive that knee through, drop down, here. Remember, you've got that contract relax method if you want to use that. That's it, don't forget you can contract, push down, and relax into it further. Freestyle it as much as you like. Definitely tighter this side for me, at least it feels it. How about you? Now if there's anything that you're struggling with in particular, don't forget you can contact the coaches directly through the app. If you're paying for additional support, you should have the one-to-one WhatsApp. Yeah, you can also directly message the coaches through the app anyway. So just make sure that you find the coach, tap on their name, click message, and they'll be able to get back to you as soon as they can. But I tell you, the using your group, you can use the public community if you want to, but using your group can really make a difference, because then you'll have a couple of hundred people also giving you their opinion on things. Food for thought. How's everyone getting on with their plans? 30 to 90 day plans. Now from there into that push-up position, elbows tucked in, happy elbows, happy wrists, happy shoulders. Drive that leg forward. Here, spend some time in, and then drop back. That's it. I like to, like I say, turn this into a bit of a dynamic stretch. Really good for those hips again, great for combating that desk posture. Ooh, that is tight right there. Got to work on that. So this is the last stretch of the morning. And then after this, we want to retest our squat. Who's used the day planner? Who's used the daily checklist? If you haven't done, check them out. They're in the getting started process. They're also in the useful PDF section of your profile. Let us know how you're getting on via the community app. The coaches will be quick to respond, and so will other members. Right guys. Okay, so stand yourself there, grab yourself a nice drink. Now I want you to retest that squat. So find that position. Nice, good, comfortable stance. I'm not going to worry about your stance too much more. Most of you will probably find that your toes are pointing out slightly. Drop down into that squat. Oh yeah, that was a lot easier. Up, Much better. How about you? Same, better, worse? Right guys, that was this week's mobility session. I hope you enjoyed it. Please use the community app to let us know how you found it, how you're finding the whole setup. We are led by your feedback. So please, 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 please tell us everything that you're thinking or how you're feeling about things, and we'll see what we can improve on. Those of you that have been with us, particularly over the last couple of months, will know that we do listen and we act pretty quickly, particularly with the public section now that's available on the community app. Tell your friends and family. If you know anyone that you think could benefit from having access to a couple of sessions, because they get access to a couple of the virtual premiere sessions through the public community app. If you know anybody that wants to have that feel-good, confident-based feeling, just ask them, send them the link to the app, see if they want to come on board and just taste what it's all about. If you need anything, you know where we are. Have a wonderful day. See you soon.